West Africa's investment world. This podcast is brought to you by Daba, your most comprehensive platform for investing in African stocks, bonds, and managed funds. You can download the Daba app on your favorite Google and Apple app stores. The good news is that even though some indexes moved slightly lower for the second day in a row, several major stocks surged and showed strong investor confidence. What does this mean for you? Whether you're an entrepreneur, a saver, or a young graduate beginning your investment journey, stay tuned. We'll break it all down in simple terms. Let's begin with the main market indexes. The BRVM Composite Index closed at 319.27 points. It slipped 0.06% during the session, but since the start of the year, it remains up 15.67%. Remember, even when daily changes look small, the bigger picture still shows strong growth. This tells long-term investors that the overall trend remains favorable for West African assets. The BRVM 30 Index, which tracks the 30 most liquid stocks, gained 0.14% to finish at 155.44 points. Year-to-date, it is up 12.04%. The Prestige Index, covering the market's blue-chip companies, declined 0.38% to 132.79 points. But since January, it is still higher by 15.63%. In short, Tuesday's session was mixed, but the annual performance remains clearly positive. For long-term investors, this means opportunities are still strong even if short-term moves look uncertain. Now let's move to the bright spots of the day, the strongest gainers. CFAO Motors, Côte d'Ivoire jumped 7.06%, closing at 910 francs CFA. Since the start of the year, the stock is up a remarkable 51.67%. This kind of performance signals confidence in the auto sector. Demand is rising, and CFAO's solid market position makes it a winner for investors seeking exposure to consumer growth. Niaï Côte d'Ivoire climbed 6.98% to 690 francs CFA. But note that despite today's rally, the stock remains down 8% since January. It shows recovery signs, but the road is not yet steady. Ecobank Transnational Incorporated, the Pan-African banking group, advanced 6.25% to 17 francs CFA. Year-to-date, it's up by the same margin. For investors, this is encouraging. The big banks are stabilizing, which reinforces confidence in the financial sector overall. Bank of Africa. Mali rose 2.23% to 3,665 francs CFA. Its yearly performance is astonishing, up 93.92%. For early investors, this means the stock nearly doubled in less than a year. It illustrates how regional banks can act as real engines of growth for the BRVM. Finally, Banque Internationale pour le Commerce et l'Industrie du Bénin gained 1.73% to 5,305 francs CFA, confirming steady progress. On the other side, let's look at the main losers. Unilever Côte d'Ivoire fell sharply, down 7.49%, closing at 45,300 francs CFA. But year-to-date, the stock remains up an extraordinary 599.61%. Such volatility is typical for a stock that has skyrocketed. After such a dramatic rise, profit-taking is normal. For investors, this means caution is needed, but new entry points may also appear. Bank of Africa Nigeria dropped 4.94% to 2,500 francs CFA. On a yearly basis, it is slightly negative, down 2.91%. CFAO Côte d'Ivoire slipped 2.74% to 710 francs CFA. Still, the stock has gained 57.78% since January, showing resilience despite today's drop. Onatel Burkina Faso declined 2.51% to 2,335 francs CFA, though it is still up 1.74% this year. Burnabe Côte d'Ivoire closed lower by 1.96% at 1,750 francs CFA, but its yearly performance remains strong at 64.32%. In terms of trading activity, about 467,761 shares were exchanged with a total value of 704.2 million francs CFA. This was down 10.60% compared to the previous session, but it still shows solid investor participation. Looking at sectors, discretionary consumer goods performed best with a gain of 3.43%. This category covers non-essential items like cars and leisure products. The increase suggests households are more confident and willing to spend. Financial services inched higher by 0.39%. confirming bank's positive momentum. On the other hand, basic consumer goods declined 1.61%, a reminder that even the most stable sectors can face corrections. Let's shift to the bond market, a key space for investors looking for safer, income-producing assets. On September 2nd, the bond market recorded 42 trades with a total value of 420,000 francs CFA, a sharp drop from previous sessions. Several notable trades involved the government of Mali. 10-year and 8-year bonds were exchanged, with coupon rates between 6.20 and 6.55%. For investors, this shows that opportunities remain to secure regular annual income of around 6%, with long maturities that provide stability. In addition, Senegalese and Burkinabe bonds with maturities of 8 to 10 years were traded, carrying coupons in the 6.30 to 6.75% range. This confirms the depth and attractiveness of the regional debt market for capital preservation and steady returns. To wrap up, the September 2nd, 2025 session gave us a mixed picture. Yes, the indexes slipped slightly for a second day, but several key stocks, like CFAO Motors, Ecobank Transnational, and Bank of Africa Mali, delivered impressive gains. The message for investors is clear: opportunities are still abundant. Regional banks are leading growth, consumer sectors are signaling confidence, and the bond market offers stable returns for those seeking diversification. So, what should you do next? If you're seeking growth, keep an eye on banking and automotive stocks. If safety is your priority, explore 10-year government bonds from Mali, Senegal, or Burkina Faso. And don't forget, with Daba Pro, you get weekly recommendations, exclusive analysis, and reduced fees when investing. With Daba Pro, you don't just follow the markets, you stay ahead of them. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to the Daba Markets Talk podcast. We'll be back tomorrow with another update. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating, follow us, and share with friends. Remember, this information is for educational purposes. Always do your own research or consult with a financial advisor before making investment decisions. And download the Daba app on your app store to start investing in African stocks, bonds, and manage portfolios through your phone and find other helpful content. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing your financial knowledge.